and welcome to another edition of a steady dropping dimes. Going early this morning because DG is big time. We got to accommodate. We we got to accommodate big time guys. Isn't that right, Daniel? In that
Yeah,
house, big timers have big time schedules. DG, so you're welcome, brother.
All propaganda.
The steady dropping dimes brought to you by Underground Printing, because if you didn't know, we hang around with the underground around here. Underground Printing, an Ann Arbor original since 2001. Underground Printing, you can find them at undergroundshirts.com. Listen, did you know it's homecoming this week? Did you know it's homecoming this week? That's right. So if you're looking for that season tee, which we will be showing you a little bit later on in the episode, you need to pick it up from Underground Printing. You're looking for your Michigan branded apparel. You need to pick it up from Underground Printing. You hear me say all the time, support who supports you. See, the guys who started Underground Printing are Michigan guys. They went here. They stayed here. They support here. So as other companies come and go, they set up roots here. They set up shop here. They are still supporting the maize and blue, while others are going all around and going here and there and to and fro. Ryan Rishi are here to stay. So you need to support Underground Printing as they support steady dropping dimes. So brick and mortar locations right here in Ann Arbor. You're looking for your Michigan branded apparel when you're coming to the game, when you're coming to the game this weekend, coming to the homecoming game this weekend against Arkansas State. Your location's right here in Ann Arbor, so be sure to make the stop when you're here in town. But you can also go to the website, undergroundshirts.com. Again, undergroundshirts.com to pick up your season tee. And by the way, the stripe out is next week, right? And the stripe out is next week against USC. So be sure to check your ticket. And again, when you're getting ready for that, pick up your Michigan brand apparel for the stripe out from undergroundshirts.com as well. Always get your Michigan branded apparel from undergroundshirts.com, from Underground Printing. And hey, look, let's put this in the comments because an idea we've been playing around with. What if we got some steady dropping dimes apparel? What if we got some steady dropping dimes swag? Would you guys get down with that? Would you, our listeners, our followers, would you rock with that? Would you support that? Well, we'll do it because we talked to our crew over at Underground Printing about it. Now we have backers that could actually make that happen. That's what they do over at Underground Printing as well. Like, they do that. If you want t-shirts printed, embroidered, they do all of that. All of that. Hats, shirts, sweatshirts, all of that. So we did some steady dropping down. Would you get down with that? Drop that in the comments. Let us know. Let us know in the chat, and we'll make that happen. Okay,
Sam, I think the people want a 2-strap shirt, like a shirt with just the straps on there, or maybe just a 1 strap on there. I think a shirt with just straps would sell better than anything we could think of.
We'll see.
I guarantee you a shirt with just straps will sell right away.
See. Undergroundshirts.com. Again, folks, make sure whether it's obviously your Michigan branded apparel, the season tee is there. That's where you can definitely get it. You heard me say last week. Oh, that is one place for sure. I know you can get it. You can go hunting other places and you won't find it. You can definitely find it at Underground Printing. Fellas, listen, a lot to talk about this week. Michigan in this Texas game, there were some tough pills to swallow about where this team is, and feels like this is a crossroads moment for them moving forward about what this season is going to be, about what their upside potential is for this season, and how they how they might be able to maximize their potential, Devin and Daniel. And, to me, I watch certain things on offense and defense. I see, for instance, on defense, them looking lost in certain areas. I watch them on offense. We watched the play on the film study, for instance. And there was a play with Alex Orgy in the game. I'm not about to make this Dimes episode be an Alex Orgy conversation like we did last week. This is not that. It's more about the play. It's a quarterback power where your guard is pulling and he comes around on the power. Right, inside the tackle. This is a basic power play. I'm sure you run it a ton of times, Devin. This is a basic. They can't run a basic power play. And so if they can't run a basic power play, Devin, what it says to me is, man, maybe they're doing too much. They got to be able to run a basic power play. What I take from that, and there's similar instances on defense. I'm thinking, man, maybe they just start to pare down. Maybe they start to scale back, and they just start to say, hey, we're gonna start to do fewer things, and we try to do fewer things really well. It's gonna start to look like maybe predictable, but maybe that's not that bad. You try to do a whole lot of things, and you wind up not doing anything really well. Maybe you just start to do a few things really well right now. It might make you really predictable, but at least you do a few things really well. I wonder what you think about that.
Firstly, you shouldn't be surprised because I kind of outlined that they wouldn't be able to block boxes that are loaded, and we learned they struggle some to block boxes that weren't loaded.
Yeah.
And so the paring it down, right? The idea that just a little bit less. If you become predictable, you're in trouble, right? Because for the most part, through this run that Michigan's had, they've been relatively predictable, right? First down, going to run it. Second down, going to run it. JJ's going to save us on third, right? Or first down, going to run it. It's good plays, right? Or bad plays. And the thing is, you had a quarterback that on third down, you could get something done with his legs, with his arm. He could create. He could play on time and go pick up the first down. And so you were kind of allowed to be predictable, and you were allowed to just have those set plays that you're just really, really good at. And I don't think we have that luxury. I think you need to be more multiple. I think that should be the idea of not pared down to we're only going to run a few plays so that everybody knows what to do. On that play that you're referencing, everybody knew what to do. They just blew it, right? Everybody knew what to do. He just blew it. So that can be fixed. I imagine that can be fixed, right? Making sure, hey, you're pulling to it. And so I talk about quarterbacks and, your heart racing and everything getting speed up. You have to understand that's the same for other positions as well. Maybe not as magnified because the camera's not always on you. You're not touching the ball every play, all those different things. You're not making every decision. However, a guy that hasn't played a lot of football at any other position, their heart is pounding too. Their adrenaline's going too, right? So the play that you're referencing is Ali Hadi, the right guard. He's pulling, and he's just a little too fast to try to turn up, right? He starts to pull. The play is there. Orgy takes his drop step. It's going to work, but he starts to pull inside the guard and center rather than going outside the opposite guard and pulling up in the hole. And he knows what to do, right? He's not confused on what to do. However, his clock is ticking, right? He's moving fast. He's trying to, his heart is racing. His adrenaline is pumping, and things are moving just a little bit too fast. And so after watching the film again, I had to send a text to my young quarterbacks that I work with. Practice hard this week. Run as fast as you can. Play the game and try to create the atmosphere of a game. Get your heart racing, because when you get in the game, it's too late. It's too late to be ready for the game, right? You need to make sure that in practice, it's not hey, scout team, chill out. Scout team, all right, we don't have anybody on our offense that's played enough football where you could take it easy. I remember Taylor Lewan used to get into fights with guys. because he said, "Stop running at me so hard in practice. What is wrong with you?" Well, Taylor Lewan was going to be a first rounder. He was an All-American. He had been through the fire. He knows exactly what he's capable of on game day. He knows how to control his heartbeat and make sure that he can still focus and play. These guys have it. Scout team has to be the best that it's ever been at the University of Michigan right now, because you got to get as many manufactured, and you can't do it, right? It's hard to manufacture game reps in practice because it's just the adrenaline isn't there, but you got to find a way to manufacture as much game opportunity in practice so that these guys can breathe, right? It's hard to breathe when you got to think about what you're doing. You got the talented players on the other side of the ball trying to stop you from doing it. So I think that the MVP of this year will end up being the scout team. And remember this, for scout team players in practice, guys that won't participate in the game, that is their game, right? So they have that extra adrenaline, that extra speed, that extra strength, but they have to use it. We can't have guys thinking they're veterans saying, chill, don't go so hard. Don't be a scout team All-American. Oh, no. We need scout team All-Americans to help make sure that all these guys have the necessary poise to perform on Main Street.
Hey, so Les, I'm not going to toot the horn of the platform. I would just advise you to please watch our other programs. just please watch our other programs, because the play wasn't stupid.
So, in my opinion, Sam, like if they call that play after that again, I think that would be like not a good call. That call was going to work, right? I understand what he's saying, because it didn't work and he don't know nothing and he hasn't watched to see what actually happened on the play. He don't know how it would, like, and I think it's the announcer's fault, right? So this is the thing. And so I do this when I call games. The analyst's job is to show you how and why it didn't work, how it didn't, like, why didn't it work, right? So when you get in that situation and you don't, I think they did show, so maybe you just didn't watch. I think they did show, hey, the puller is supposed to come around and blah, 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 blah. You just come in and you just say stuff. You just spew stuff. You just say stuff. And then Sam put your little comment up. So, but I understand from a fan is just watching, not really watching the other shows, not really trying to do his homework. It does look like, oh, that's just, you just running orange up the middle. So I get that. However, you look like a goofball, especially in a form like this, just because most people in this chat, and I'm not saying all, most are really dedicated, different kind of fans where they figure out what's actually going on by doing their homework. I mean, a lot of people in this fan are so committed, they do more on this probably than they do on their real job, right? They are committed to learning what's going on, how is it happening, and so he's goofy, and I hate you do that, man.
Hey, man, let me ask you a question. I want to ask.
Just real quick, I wasn't picking Les. The reason why I put it up is because there's a lot of people who are saying that, and it's just not accurate. That play was wide the hell open. It was wide open.
And in his defense, there was some predictability in the play calls early in the game and throughout the game. I get that for sure. So, but you can't just let that make you want to go make a comment on something that you really aren't informed on, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and so here's the thing, man. It was so wide open. As a matter of fact, the box was light. Donovan widens the corner. You got everything you want on the play.
It literally, like Borges' favorite word is paradigm. It was the paradigm of what power looked like and what you wanted to look like. And so Les says he was at the game, so that's why he doesn't know.
Okay.
Right? He's at the game. He can't see nothing. Right?
Okay.
He just looked like he just see Orgy drop step and get tackled. Right. So we're gonna give you a pass a little bit, but just go watch the other shows or something. Do something. Figure it out. But don't just come in here talking crazy.
Yeah, because Les, let me tell you, it was a clear and sunny day, bro. I'm telling you, it was exactly what you want on that play. But your offensive guard, and this is why I say simplify. If you can't run a basic power, then I'm like, whoa, we need to be running power every day, and bro, we need to run power 20 times in practice. If we not turning up on a power, right? Yeah, we got to be able to do that. We got to be able to do that.
That's day one install. You're right.
And so that's what I'm saying. Now that's gonna drive people nuts because then it will look like what Les is saying. Then it's like, oh, now you're being totally predictable. See, because I don't know that that's necessarily the wrong way to be thinking because I'm looking on defense and I'm seeing guys looking like not knowing where to be, messing up assignments, and you're seeing that all over the place because you got different new players playing different positions. And I'm not saying do that the whole season, but at least until you master your base plays. And as you master base plays, now you add on to it gradually. I just feel like maybe they're trying to do too many things right now.
Let me give a quick example, Sam, from literally a week ago. Right, so I'm watching film all week. I had Texas Tech versus Washington State last week, and I'm watching film all week. And Texas Tech is playing defense, and it's super simple, but it's just guys have MA after MA, and MA is missed assignment, right? And I'm looking like, what are they doing, right? So we get into meetings with Coach DeRuiter, defense coordinator, and I'm just asking him, a lot of questions about what's going on or whatever, and I tell him, I'm like, why doesn't anyone know what they're doing? Like, you know what I mean? He's like, because coaches are always confused at how I know that, but it's just like I watch the film. Like I played enough football. I know it looks like he's supposed to be doing based off of what everybody else is doing. And he's like, man, we dominated our offense all camp. Dominated them. Like we thought our offense was going to be the problem, right? And so, but there's a lot of young guys playing, right? So this goes back to the State Street versus Main Street, right? So their version of State Street, those guys were balling. Knew exactly where to be, so they knew their assignment. But then when they got on Main Street, the lights were so bright that they just couldn't function, right? I'll give an example. Cover 2, just like we're talking about power is simple. Cover 2, most fans know what cover 2 is. The safety is playing half of the field, right, on one side and half on the other side, and the corners are in the flats, right, that 5-yard area. So that means no short passes on the outside should be completed. None. Team snaps the ball, cornerback starts to back up. They complete a flat route for a first down. And the safeties, even on the film, he shouldn't do this, but on the film, he's looking like, what are you doing? Right? He throws his hands up because that's the one thing that shouldn't be completed. And you think, well, does this kid not know cover 2? No, yeah, he know cover 2. But that moment, those lights were too bright, and he lost it, right? And so that's why simplifying is not going to do anything, right? They have to practice hard. I don't know how they practice. They got to practice harder. Whatever they're doing, they got to create the atmosphere of a game so that those things on those simple type of plays don't happen.
Well,
let me chime in real quick, Sam. I think that's my takeaway from this whole situation, right? I'm not as well versed in football X's and O's as far as in-game execution. I watch the videos like everybody else, but in my sport, preparation is also a thing too, right? So I'm wondering what have the coaches seen on State Street to make the decisions to play certain guys, to make certain calls that we've seen either the players clearly haven't played well at those positions, like you said, missing assignments, or to play the power play with Orgy, like you said, the guard runs right into his teammate and lays on his back, right? So, like, what are they seeing on State Street to put these guys in important positions on Main Street, right? Like, who's making these evaluations? What are they seeing to make these evaluations to, hey, let's play a defensive lineman, guy that's been a defensive lineman for 3 years, over two guys that have been groomed to play this position since high school, right? So, like, what's going into these decisions that are being made on State Street that's leading to what we're seeing on Saturday on Main Street? So that's my takeaway from it. So I'm starting to question the decision-making process.
Yeah, so I think Devin just made a very salient point, one that is probably born of his experience as a player and your experience as a player. The lights matter. The lights matter. And so another perfect example of if you can't run a power, maybe you're doing too much stuff. Maybe you can run a power in practice, but when you get the lights come on, okay, we need to be running basic stuff more until we master being able to run stuff under pressure. We got to keep running basic stuff until we can handle the pressure. I'll give you an example on defense. The first drive, Devin, like to say, hey, we got to do the basics before we can add to it. The first drive, the first third down, it's 3rd and 13. They cover 3 on 3rd and 13, Devin. Will is playing it right on one side. Will deep as the deepest. On the other side, the young fella get beat on a double move on 3rd and 13. Because he bite at 7 yards on 3rd and 13. He ain't deep as the deepest, Devin.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if we can't do that, okay, of course he get ate up on a combo coverage. Later in the drive, of course he get ate up on that because we just got beat on cover 3, basic cover 3 on 3rd and 13. So that's why I'm saying,
but
maybe
you gotta
be trying to do too much stuff.
You gotta remember, Sam.
I don't know how to recruit guys to change.
You gotta remember, Sam, when you're young, you understand what to do, not why you're doing it a lot of times, right? And let me explain that, right? So cover 3, deep is the deepest on the outside 3rd, right, for the cornerback. That's what he's supposed to do. Now, but he doesn't have the situation in mind, right? It's 3rd and 13. They can catch a curl, catch and tackle. We're going to get off the field, right? He's like, deep is the deepest. However, he's in my 3rd running the curl. I need to stop him from catching it. No, you don't. Right? Unless he ran that curl at 14, then, okay, you probably need to drive on that and stop that. Right? But 5-yard hitch route or 7-yard curl, you let him catch that, get back into your 3rd, and don't break on it until you see him catch the ball. But when you haven't played a ton of football and you don't know the why, it's more of the what to do, right? You see it happen and it's moving fast for you and you react, right? You react on the ball. And so he tries to stop it, obviously a double move. And that's the savvy by Sarkisian as well, right? We got a young guy out there. Let's double move him because he's not going to do his job, right? He's going to try to make a play. And do I fault him for wanting to desperately make a play? No, right? We want guys to want to make plays. However, you have to be disciplined in your assignment to make sure that you don't give up something that you're supposed to be doing. Now you put everybody else in a compromised position. Right now you got Makari flying over trying to make the play, and he looks like it's his fault. Right? Where's the safety? Why isn't he not in position? And that's not the case, right? So the quarterback should have held the ball, should have had to hold the ball, get sacked, or try to run and create, which we know he's not running to get 13. He caught the ball and took a knee a bunch of times, right? So it's tough to kill him because he's trying to make a play. However, you got to get out of the what I'm doing. That should be a given, right? That's what spring ball and summer camp is for. What I'm doing. The how, the why is the most important now.
Yeah. Henry McAlpine says, why can't they man up with wheel and zone everything? We talking about zone right now.
Yeah.
This is essentially
that's his zone.
Yeah, this is
it's not essentially. Cover 3 is a zone. He's supposed to be in his deep zone. So when that ball's thrown deep outside, he should be intercepting it because he should already be back there, is what Sam is saying.
Yeah. So, to be able to master the some base concepts, a few base concepts. And then,
what's more basic on defense than cover 3 and more basic than power on offense?
Right. It's kind of my point.
So
now
that
would make fans really, really mad. But I wonder if that's what you do in a situation where you see a lot of assignment errors, a lot of MAs like we saw in this game.
So basketball fans and Daniel, think about this. Think about a point guard. Right, you're a point guard. Think about a point guard that is too fast when in the pick and roll, and he makes his big guy foul the guy every time. You know what I mean? He's done it right in practice, right? He's been patient, but when them lights come on, those fans in the stands, now he's going too fast, and we got offensive fouls galore. You know what I mean? Right? That's equivalent, right? That's equivalent to like the guard moving too fast and different things like that. The point guard has to be patient, allow the big guy to set up so he can do the pick and roll. But if you go too fast, now he's in a compromised position. You know what I mean?
Yep. Hey, you know what we do with those guys?
Put them on the bench.
We find a new point guard. Like that's my whole point. Like, man, how many chances do you give guys? Michigan has a deep and talented roster, right? Like, let's play some of these guys and see who's gonna be able to.
Whoa.
Come on now.
Whoa.
Was deep and talented a bridge too far for you, Sam?
We Michigan, right?
You're not about to be putting some of these guys on the bench now. You got to grow some guys up. You got to grow some guys up in some of these spots. And but it's not. I don't. It's not loafing. You just have.
They're going hard.
Yeah, you got some guys.
That's worse because that means the guy might not be capable.
Or he just might be inexperienced, DG. I mean, Daniel, he just might just be inexperienced.
Man,
Daniel said that's worse. He is trying, and he still can't do it.
He tried as hard as he can, and he still can't get there and get it done, man. It's time to, hey, I'm not the type of coach. I'm the type of coach, once you show me you can't do it, the time to work on it and get better is on Monday through Friday. On Saturday, I got to find somebody that can get there and get it done.
Well, and listen, I'm not discounting that competition at some position should either move some guys to the bench and move other guys up, but there are some spots where you don't have that luxury, where you just got to roll who's there. So, yeah, it just kind of is. It is what it is in some spots, but I tell you what, I kind of got this from Van. See, Vance's position is, especially on defense, I simplify. They trying right now with this group, they're trying to do too much on defense, given some of these new experience in some of these spots. You got it, and the fact that you got new coaches in there too, because his position is you got some guys that some veterans that, hey man, we had some success doing this a certain way. Y'all new around here. So yeah. And he said I don't know that they're reacting to them that way, but he just said, I just know in my experience, stepping into a situation where some guys had some success, it wasn't an instant proposition where they automatically, when there was some adversity, they automatically just said, okay, yeah, coach. It took a minute. It took a minute for them to just buy in when things went wrong, to say, okay, yeah, coach got this. He said it took a minute for them to trust the adjustment and trust the coaching. So he said, basically what has to happen in this particular, keep it real, kind of narrow the scope of what you're doing, and then you grow the trust over time. He said, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, if that was not the case here. So, we shall see, fellas, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't kind of scale things back a little bit, both offensively and defensively, as far as all the things that they're trying.
Hey, let me address something really quickly, because this Brian dude just keep on talking about Fresno and Colorado State. Firstly, we don't know who's a better team. However, the argument was that Texas would have the same success against us as they did against Colorado State, right? Because Sam was saying, oh, well, they play Colorado State. That wasn't nothing. And we play Fresno, a little better team. And I just said, those are the same. That's the same team. And Texas was going to have the same success. And then they came in and they did. Brian, shut up before you get blocked. You just keep saying goofy stuff, right? You think I care who's better, Colorado State or Fresno State? I don't care about those two teams. I don't. The argument was, and I was going to kill Sam for it, because Sam is the reason you are so emboldened, because he brought that up. Oh, they only played Colorado State. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let him live. I'm going to let him live. So Sam, don't even comment. I'm going to let you live. Don't even comment, Sam. Let this roll. Let this roll, because we going to get into a long tangent over your goofy comments about Colorado State. If they just did it against Colorado State, Sam, just let it ride. Just let it ride. Let me finish this soliloquy. Just let it ride, Sam.
You changed my argument.
Okay, let's roll then. What was it? What was it?
My argument was, I'm not going to buy that Texas is a more physical team just by seeing it against Colorado State.
And I told you what?
Can I finish?
Go ahead.
Show me against someone other than Colorado State, then I'll buy it. Because I don't think Colorado State is that great a team.
And I said Fresno's the same team. And you said, what? Fresno way better.
And I said, what makes you think they're on par with Fresno State? And you said, oh, well, last couple of years,
they're the same team.
And I said,
judging by the record last year, they're the same team. And judging by how Texas made us look, we're the same as Colorado State at this point.
We compared the records the last couple of years between Fresno State and Colorado State.
No, you compare. No. Let's hold on. You compare non-conference. I compare conference. 4-4 and 3-5. That's the same team.
I compared the records for the programs the last couple of years, and they didn't look the same.
Last year, 4-4 and 3-5. And then Texas came in and made us look like Colorado State. Right? So now we have to argue, well, are we the same as Colorado State then?
Oh, come on, man. No.
You the one emboldened this goofy dude to keep talking crazy about Colorado State and Fresno when I tried to tell you what was going to happen. If you would have just listened to me, we wouldn't even be here. I told you, listen, they played Colorado State, but I'm just telling you right now, what they did is transferable. It's transferable, but you ain't want to hear that.
Oh.
So now you got goofy Brian Mama Man on here talking crazy.
Oh, it's not even close. Come on,
you
man.
did say that. Nah.
I'm about to say,
Colorado State has been an abysmal program for years. For years.
They got a new coach last year, by the way.
And, okay, and that's why they've been.
Last year they were 3-5, and Fresno was 4-4 in the conference, where they play the same teams. Last year, Colorado State was 3-5, and Fresno was 4-4 in the conference, where they played the same teams.
So why do we know why Fresno got a new coach? Do we know why Fresno had to get a new coach, and why Colorado State had to get a new coach?
Because they're both average teams.
I thought Fresno had to get a new coach because Fresno's coach had to move on to another program because Fresno's coach got a promotion. Fresno's coach went on to Washington, did he not? Didn't he?
I don't know what Fresno's coach did. All I know is last season, 3-5, 4-4.
I thought Teffer left a month before the season.
No, I'm talking about before Teffer.
Okay.
That's multiple years ago, Sam. I'm talking about the teams that are playing right now and last year. 3-5, 4-4.
I'm talking about the board.
Yeah, I was talking about DeBoer. Yeah, I mean you
3-5, 4-4.
Check
Daniel, if one team is 3-5 in conference and one is 4-4, is that not the same
thing?
If
you look at Fresno State has for years been a better program.
I'm not talking about their history. We're talking about the Fresno State that we just played and the Fresno State Texas played. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about, their history makes them so good. We're talking about who are they right now in the moment.
Fresno State. When did Texas play Fresno?
So we have to add.
No, we did. Michigan played Fresno State.
Michigan. We have to add the Fresno State, Colorado State to the school board.
By the end of the season, y'all better hope to God. Y'all better hope to God. We're going to have a whole show about Fresno State. Y'all better hope to God they are way better. And they play each other November 23rd. Y'all better hope. Y'all better hope Colorado State don't beat them because this show ain't going to talk about nothing but that. We're going to break that film down because we don't know what we're going to be as a team anyway. We'll be breaking down Colorado State, Fresno State.
We will talk about
right after the Slippery Rock score. We good.
Yep.
We will talk about that game for sure. No doubt. We might even have to go. Might have to talk to my friends over at Golden Limo. Get us a whole little trip set up.
And go to the Colorado State game. That's right.
Colorado State game. That's right. We have any friends? My man Courtney Morgan might still have some folks out of Fresno that could hook us up. Mm-hmm. Courtney and Kaylin DeBoer were out there. I'm sure they still have some contacts that could hook us up, get us out there at Fresno. So we'll see what we can do. Not you, DG, because you be hating on Fresno. So you can call your folks over at Colorado State. You can be on that sideline over there. Hey, so they want to know about Jadyn Davis. Let me address it. the Jadyn Davis part before we move on and start talking about my Lions a little bit. So start Jadyn Davis ASAP. I think that the idea that you just rush a freshman in there, his dad during the recruiting process was very adamant that it be about his son's readiness, that it wasn't just a function of, hey, these other guys can't do it, that it was about his development too, that it was a sort of a convergence of need and development. It wasn't just, hey, we need him. If you need him and he doesn't know the play, he doesn't know the playbook well, or you need him and you can't protect him, well, is that really what's conducive to his success? Because here's the brass tacks. If he's not ready, let's say he doesn't know the playbook fully, and you can't protect him, you know how it works in college football. Devin is here today, gone tomorrow. It's very, very easy to cancel a career. It's on to the next one very, very quickly. And so they were very mindful of that during the recruiting process. So he's competing, he's developing. Never said that he didn't want to play as a freshman. I think there's been a mischaracterization about what their position was on him playing as a freshman. All he ever said was he wants to make sure that his son is ready. He wants to make sure that his son isn't rushed into playing. If his son is ready to play, then he wants him to play. So competing and developing, and if his son is ready to play, then he's gonna want him to play. Simple as that.
So with the Jadyn Davis thing, it's tough to get an idea if he's ready to play, right? Like we've talked about extensively. Practice is not where you can get a real beat on if somebody's ready for those bright lights. You got your teammates. You get to third. I love going to third down period, right? In practice, you have periods: third down, first down, blitz period, all those different things, right? So in blitz period, every single play in the period they're blitzing, right? Maybe the ones get 4 reps, the twos get 2 reps, and the threes get 1 rep, maybe, right? Bless you. And third down period, it's third down every single time. Maybe it's 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, whatever. And you're the quarterback, and you're in for 4 straight plays, whether you pick up the first down or not. That's not how the game works. You get 1 shot on third down. There is no, oh, you got it, redo. It's either pick up the first down or get off the field, right? And so for Jadyn Davis, who is in that situation where he's not getting all those reps, right? You got to get as many reps as you can for the ones, and then you give a few to the twos, and then you throw some of those scraps to the threes. And during game preparation weeks, usually there are no threes, right? The only thing you can get for Jadyn is maybe scout team, just because you can't dedicate so much time to a kid who isn't the quarterback, right? And take away from your starters who also need a ton of reps because they just haven't played, right? So I think it's unrealistic to think that Jadyn Davis could possibly be ready when he's only had the practice opportunity, which we see right now. We can see it offensively, defensively. Guys without real game experience are struggling with simple concepts in game. You can't tell me that they didn't master it in practice, right? It looked like, at least it appeared that they had mastered it to the coaches, or it's criminal that they're out there, right? Like Daniel's saying, if you don't show it in practice, you can't play in the game. So they've shown that they can do it in practice, and then when the game comes, they're struggling to execute because of the bright lights. So I just want fans to just take a deep breath. You can't throw a kid out there who's not practicing when the guys that are practicing and doing it right in practice, so we assume, can't figure it out on game day. It's a tough thing, and quarterback and the quarterback's mind, it's a sensitive, fragile thing. It can be lost, right? Look at DJ Uiagalelei, right? He's the quarterback that was at Clemson. Remember when he first came in the game and he came in for he lit it up.
Yeah.
He was it's like, oh my God, we got the next first round pick. We need to even think about moving on from the quarterback we have now, right? Then the next year, he doesn't play as well, right? Loses some confidence. He ends up having to leave, right, and go to a new school. And he's not that great at Oregon State, but he's starting to get some of his confidence back. Then he goes to Florida State, and he is god awful. How do you go from first round pick to god awful that quickly, right? You can lose your confidence. It's a fragile position, and it'd be criminal for them to do that to a young guy like Jadyn Davis. We don't know what he could be, right? But we know that he's highly recruited. It would be criminal to throw him out there in this S show that we have right now as far as missing assignments, unable to protect, unable to run the ball, different things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I know I understand from a coach's perspective what y'all saying about he needs to develop, he needs time to grow, blah, blah, blah. But from hearing that from the kid and his parents, like, man, I want to play. Like, if the guys in front of me not getting it done, I want to play. Like, no matter what the situation is, I'm a competitor. I feel like I'm built for this. I'm supposed to be a 5-star recruit, all this other stuff. I want to play. If I have a good enough commitment, and it's not like Michigan is running anything super complicated. I mean, Davis completed 15 passes, and 8 of them was the coastal level in one game. So,
but Daniel, this is the thing. This is the thing that the parents worry about.
What is Michigan doing so complicated on offense?
No, Daniel, it's not that. You got to think about this, right? Okay, say in basketball, right? Your sport. If that's happening, you do throw that point guard out there, right? You do. If the other guys ain't getting done, throw him out there. In football, it's dangerous, right? He could get killed, right? Like, and this is not a joke. Like, it's dangerous to put a guy that maybe doesn't know what he's doing, and I'm sure he does, but doesn't know the why. He just knows what, kind of, with the lights bright. Also, to put him surrounded by guys who aren't doing what they're supposed to do, right? You get a guy hurt fast, right? It's a dangerous sport, and you can't put a guy out there in that situation that hasn't played real football. When was his last high school game, Sam? He hasn't played real football in a very long time. He hasn't been tackled in a very long time. Now, that's fine for veteran quarterbacks because you know what they can do in college football. But for a high school kid, he wasn't live. He hasn't been tackled. He hasn't been tackled in over a year. It's right? Maybe not over a year, just under a year. You can't put him out there and risk his health, is because that's what you're going to be doing, essentially. Risking his health and his confidence.
Yeah, and what are we talking about? Davis completed those passes in a game where they scored 6 points when it mattered, and then threw 2 interceptions. I mean, why are we comparing? I'm
not comparing the players. I'm saying what Michigan is doing offensively isn't super complicated.
Okay,
like either handing the ball off or throwing the ball to the tight end. I'm pretty sure you can. I'm pretty sure you can put a lot of guys out there.
That argument is for Alex Orji. That argument's for Alex Orji, a guy who's played some football, and you can know, okay, he knows how to protect himself. He can do all these things. That can't be the argument for a young guy who is still trying to figure out what class to go to on time.
You think this kid who played a lot of football in his life was a big time quarterback? You think he can't protect himself? You think he can't handle himself on the football field?
Not when we can't pull and go in the right gap on power.
I don't know, man. I think these kids play a lot of football and play a lot of competitive.
No, we play a lot of 7-on-7. They play a lot of 7-on-7. Totally different.
They can't play high school football in North Carolina. Like, it's not like he played in, low-level high school football. So,
no.
I'm not saying he's ready. I'm not advocating for him to play. What I'm saying is, like, from his, like, just hearing what Sam said about, hey, we don't want, like, from coming from him and his camp about not wanting.
Well, so let's just say it's not him saying that. It's not him saying that. I know him. I'm telling you right now, he want to play. I'm telling you, but he don't know no better. You got to protect him from himself, and that's what parents do, and that's what coaches should do because you treat him like your son. You got to protect him from himself. He desperately wants to play. I'm telling you, he going back to his dorm like, man, these dudes can't. Man, I got this, man. I can do this. However, I'm telling you right now, perfect example, Devin Gardner, #1 dude threat in the country, right? Come in, perform well on State Street. I'm sure Sam heard the reports of how cold I was. Me and Denard are neck and neck getting to it. And then we have the first game. Denard's a starter. I can agree with that, right? He's been here longer. I just got here, even though we kind of equal. He should start, but as soon as you mess up, it's on me, and I'm the man. Denard gets hurt. I'm doing air quotes because you'll know why at the end. Denard gets hurt against UConn, and I go in the game. And I'm so jacked up. I am juiced, right? Because this is my turn. I didn't know it was going to come so fast. He was playing good in the game. I said, I'm never going to play. Here it is. Here's my chance. I go in, and our cadence was ready, set, go. That's it. That's how you hike the ball. Ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. Nobody moves, Daniel. Nobody moves. I hike the ball, but nobody moves. It's so loud. This ain't practice, right? It's so loud. The atmosphere is so much that I didn't talk. I just didn't talk loud enough. Then I go, ready, set, go. Right, I get the ball hiked, but while I'm focused on the what, hiking the ball, I forgot to play.
Yeah.
Right, and so now it's just the inside zone. It wasn't nothing complicated, right? Forgot to play. He's going inside zone. I don't hand it to him. I get stuck with it. Now, if I would have remembered to play, I probably would have hit my head on the goalpost and we got a quarterback competition going on, right? Because it was wide open. I get stuck with the ball. I don't know what to do. I get tackled for a 4-yard loss on my first play ever because I wasn't ready, man. I played great on State Street. I wasn't ready for that. Not that.
It's going to be some of that. Just like I started as a freshman, my freshman year, we lost our first 6 games. But you know what happened after that? Once I got acclimated to college basketball, the speed of the game, we won 13 in a row.
But as you got acclimated,
like when you have kids that are supposed to be talented and are supposed to be good, you might go through something. You might go out there, like you say, he might call up to snap the ball and he doesn't say it loud enough, or he may fumble the snap, or he may have some growing pains. But once he gets acclimated, you might have a stud.
During your acclimation, was there a chance that your ribs were going to be broken and your spleen bleeding?
Yeah, you get your nose broke, you get your eye busted.
Sit down, you stop playing with me. See, now you tripping. Now you tripping. There wasn't no risk of you dying. No.
My eyes from getting my eyes
doesn't make your spleen bleed.
I had 2 nose surgeries getting my nose broke, bro.
You can smell just fine. Your spleen wasn't bleeding. You didn't. A broken nose ain't risk of dying.
But you sign up for that. That kid has been playing football his whole life. I'm not. You can't get me with it's dangerous. Like it's always football.
Yeah, all right, Daniel. Hey, get your son. You send him out there with that offensive line. You do that then. I bet you would think twice.
Like I said, I'm not advocating for him to
I bet you would think twice if it was your son.
Mentality. I don't want my son. I want it, man. My son. If the guys in front of him can't get it done, give him a shot. Let him go do it.
And then as soon as your son's ribs are broken, you're gonna be like, "That's irresponsible. How y'all do that to my son?"
Hey man,
while you in the hospital bedside. Come on now.
We not built like that over here. His ribs are healed.
You crazy. You crazy. That's bad parenting.
You got some guy's confidence though, too. Even if you don't, let's say you play it wrong, you can wreck him. You don't harm him physically. Let's say, success.
So you gonna say that about your own son, Daniel? That's on him.
Yeah, if my son go out there and he understands the situation and he's in, and he allows it to defeat him mentally for the rest of his future, that's him. I don't give a damn
that's not good parenting, man. I'm sorry.
If you know out there, you're going out there, your team is struggling, your offensive line isn't that good, you got to prepare yourself mentally. You can't allow yourself to be defeated mentally.
He's 18 years old, man. Well, at 18 years old, you don't know how to prepare yourself mentally for what he about to experience? This ain't high school football, man. Come on, man. Daniel, come on. You got to come off that.
Short of it.
Daniel, you play basketball. Ain't nobody trying to kill you.
Yeah, anybody trying to kill you in football, neither. Y'all out there tackling.
Yes, they are.
Bro,
all right. We got it. The long and the short of it is that conversation with recruiting. First with Harbaugh. Say, look, don't rush my son. Don't rush him in there. And that was one of the assurances that was made. He's not going to be put on the field as a freshman unless he's ready. Unless he's ready. And certainly that was the same conversation that was had after Harbaugh was left, after Jim left. And so that's the understanding now. So I would be surprised if they made that shift, is the point. I expect that he'll redshirt. So I think he played 4 games and still redshirt. I think
Yeah,
that's.
plenty of freshman quarterbacks come through college football and play well. They got nothing to
But
do with trying to be killed.
DJ Uyunglele is on his third team now?
Third team.
Third team.
Because he went in too early.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, Ben,
put the fries in the bag.
Ben, there is our friends at Golden Limo, the short video, Ben. Our friends at Golden Limo offer a great service when it comes to ground transportation. All of your ground transportation needs can be met by our friends at Golden Limo. They are one of our sponsors here on Steady Droppin Dimes. Of course, Michigan football rides on Golden. We were doing one of our pregame videos, and the Michigan team, they came riding up on those Golden limousine buses. Funny thing about Golden Limo, they don't have a limousine in the fleet. But when it comes to those luxury motor coaches that you see the Michigan football team riding on, yeah, Golden Limo, they only ride in style on Golden. Michigan basketball rides on Golden. Michigan women's basketball they ride on Golden. Michigan medicine rides on Golden. When you see the University of Michigan and they need that mass transportation, the big, parties that need to be, teams and, mass transit need to ride on, need to be moved around. They're riding on Golden Limo, but not just big groups. But if you need executive transport, like let's say you have, an office group that needs to go right on Golden. Like we need airport transport, game day transport, any of your ground transportation needs. You can ride on Golden, goldenlimo.com, and a great opportunity right now. They have something going on called the Golden Ticket. See, Golden Limo supports Michigan NIL. They've had NIL ambassadors like Will Johnson. He was their NIL ambassador last year. They had a NIL deal with Will this year. Their NIL ambassador is Zeke Berry. And so every time you book a ground transportation or ground transport through Golden Limo, they will also donate a portion of your transportation fee to Michigan NIL. They'll also donate a portion of the fee to a veterans service called Freedom River. So giving back to Michigan NIL, giving back to a veteran service, that is Golden Limo giving back to Michigan, Golden Limo giving back to our veterans. That is the Golden Limo difference. Ben, drop that track.
If you have ground transportation needs, get to your destination on time, every time with Golden Limo. Ride like the Wolverines. Feel like a Wolverine when you ride with Golden Limo, the proud transportation partner for many of Michigan's sports teams and the primary transportation provider for Michigan Wolverines football. All you have to do to book your Golden Ticket reservation is go to goldenlimo.com/golden ticket or call their team at 734-668-8282 and mention Golden Ticket to book your transportation reservations today.
Hey, I'm doing the next one. I'm doing the next one, Sam. You out. I'm doing the next one.
Why are you doing the next one? Why is that?
Because I want to.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I need them to get me down to a Lions game. Because I don't want to park. They do that too. Like you going to like a Lions or Tigers game. I know some people use Golden Limo to go to Michigan games. Game day transport is outstanding. I use Golden Limo. As a matter of fact, I'm using Golden Limo to go to a USC game next week. So they're gonna be my ground transportation for the USC game.
So Daniel, you going to this game this week for homecoming, huh?
Yeah, yes, sir.
You know I've never been to homecoming outside of when I played. That's
So
crazy.
you haven't been homecoming since you finished?
Nah.
Yeah,
I don't know what homecoming is. You know what I mean? I just know it as a player.
Man. Hey, get with me after the show. I got you.
No, Sam, yeah. No.
So did you see my Lions not play their best game and still come out and get it done? Did you see Waymo J-Mo come out the gate looking like that guy? Now, this is where I will give Devin some credit. I can't give him.
You have to.
I can't give you credit for this Colorado State better than Fresno State. I can't give you credit for that. I can give you credit for the Waymo JMO versus the Amon-Ra St. Brown thing, because I was like, man, I don't know how it's going to work out with him. It's like I feel like he's going to have a breakout season. I just like he's going to explode, but I don't know that he's going to be one of the top guys in the NFL. You said, oh no, Sam, he's going to be one of the top guys in the NFL. I was like, I just don't know yardage wise if he's going to be able to do that, because Amon-Ra St. Brown had 1,500 yards last year. And you said, no, he's not going to have. Amon-Ra St. Brown is not going to have that many yards this year, Sam, because, yeah, J-Mo's going to be one of the top guys in the NFL. And if you look at the stats for the first game, DG, well, sir, that dude, DG, he called that one.
It's not even an attack on Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, he not as good as J-Mo. They could be equally good, but one guy's an outside guy and one guy's a slot guy, right? Slot guys just aren't going for 1,500 usually, right? But we didn't have that formidable force on the outside, so it opened up a lot of opportunity for Amon-Ra St. Brown. And you got to remember, in the slot, you got two-way go, right? So you can get a lot of open space. But when you have that dominant outside guy that can really go get it, you want to push the ball down the field, because pushing the ball down the field is what opens up the run even more, right? It all works together. But we're throwing inside, in the seams and different. Those are good, but it's way more. It opens up the run game way more when you throw the ball outside. You can see you put a stress on the defense. You got to keep a safety out of the box, right? You don't got to keep a safety out of the box when you throw into the slot, right? But when you're throwing outside down that field, Randy Moss, guys like that, you got to take a safety back. We can't just let him run past us. So now the box is light. You run well, then they got to bring him back in. And you know what I mean? It just all works together. And Amon-Ra is still going to have a good year. I say he probably had 800 yards, right? Which is a good season.
You have 1,000 yards?
I don't think so.
Wow.
I think he had 800 yards. I think he had 800 yards.
Man,
that's a great season. I don't know why people acting like that ain't nothing.
Yeah, they clearly were not in. It was not a great game for Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or Sam Laporta. They were off. They're gonna get clicking. It's gonna come around.
If we go Sam Laporta 800, Amon-Ra St. Brown 800, and Jameson Williams 1,200, that's an outstanding set of receivers. And then everybody else sprinkle in 200, 300 there. I love it.
So J-Mo's gonna lead him in receiving. Is what you calling that?
I think he should. If they want to be the team they want to be, I think he should. Right? I think his ability to stretch the field is dangerous, and it opens up everybody else, including Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I mean, Daniel, you can get that. Hey, congratulations!
Man,
Congratulations, y'all beat Colorado State. Cool. All right. You can celebrate,
Sam.
Celebrate.
Are y'all done? Can we talk about a real football team now?
Just like I said, y'all beat Colorado State.
You see what happens when you hire a real offensive coordinator. You see what happens, Michigan.
Y'all look who y'all didn't even beat a real team. Like
we did what we were supposed to do to Colorado State. 47-10.
Y'all didn't even beat a real team.
We did what we were supposed to do.
How many games are the Saints gonna win this season? The Lions beat a playoff team.
We got one of the easiest schedules in the league, man. We're gonna win 10 to 12 games.
The Lions beat a playoff squad. I gotta give Matthew Stafford credit, man, because they were on that dude. They were on him. He was making no-look passes back there. I was like, hey, he's looking like Houdini, how he's moving around in the pocket. Now, he was down a couple linemen, including Alaric Jackson. Man, it's funny story. What's my man's name who's at Ohio State as an analyst? And I was like, man, I told him about Alaric Jackson. Told him about Alaric Jackson. I was like, man, this guy, DG. Told him. You know what I mean?
I told you, and you don't listen. So don't get mad at somebody else not listening to you.
What you told me about Alaric Jackson? I told you.
No, I told you about a lot of stuff, but we're not gonna rehash it.
Well, the rest is history. He goes on to Iowa anyway. So, but they were without Alaric Jackson. So they were down some offensive linemen. But boy, the Lions sure took they took advantage of it. And this is how it's supposed to look. This is how you draw it up, how you envisioned having a guy on the other side of Aiden who was getting strip searched on the field. I mean, this is what it looks like when a grown man is being molested. That's Aiden Hutchinson on the football field last Sunday. They was feeling all over, up and down, all over it. It was a crime being committed on Aiden Hutchinson last Sunday night, right? But Aiden Hutchinson having someone on the other side that needs to be accounted for. Marcus Davenport looked good on the other side. Put some heat on Matthew Stafford on the other side. And then they actually got pushed up the middle. Levi Onwuzurike, sorry for butchering your name, young brother. Yeah, he was making his presence felt up the middle. You know, they got some push up in there. The defense was actually wreaking some havoc. You know, Kirby Joseph got a pick in the end zone. The safeties, Brian Branch was making some plays. Carlton Davis should have had 2 or 3 picks, man. It's like, come on, man. Dude, can we get on the jugs machine? I know DBs, that's why you a defensive back, but damn, let's get some more picks in there. The defense was making plays, not as many as you want them to, but more than last year. Thank God Cam Sutton is gone. This was an example of what really good teams do. You don't play your best game, and you still win against a playoff team. That's what the Lions did. Jake Bates. You know who Jake Bates is. I know
that boy.
Bates
I was the announcer for the game on that long 64-yard field goal. I say the Lions better get him.
And they got him. Yeah, the Lions, for real, man. I mean, to come out the gate like that, this is a game that the Lions lose in the past. To go up and look like they're gonna run away with it, and then have a team come back on you like that. Like they lose that game in the past. They didn't lose this time. So
Sam, it was the Rams without Puka Nacua.
First of all, Puka Nacua played. He did get hurt and had to go out. But what are you talking about?
It was the Rams without Aaron Donald.
Oh, okay. The Rams are a good team.
No, they're not. They won't make the playoffs.
Okay, we shall see.
They won't make Seattle and San Francisco will make the playoffs out of that division.
Rams are a better team than the Saints.
No.
Better team than the Saints.
Man, the little dude Robinson was tearing y'all up, man. Who is that? So when y'all play against better teams,
Rams are a better team than the Saints.
No, they're not.
They damn sure got a better quarterback than the Saints.
No, I'm not gonna argue with that. But they're not. I'm not gonna argue with Matthew. I like Matthew Stafford, but.
Oh, we got Miz in there. We got another Saints fan in here. It's out of Mafia. So, hey, but you know, all of a sudden, the NFC North is looking, the path is looking a lot more clear. Not that I wish injury on anybody, but Jordan Love going down in week 1, fellas.
Right.
Man, he wasn't playing well to begin with. I thought it was clear whether he got injured or not.
Makes things a little interesting. I know you probably got Minnesota maybe feeling a little frisky. Sam Darnold goes out, plays well in week 1. You know, the Bears go out and win in week 1. I think that had more to do with Will Levis, you know, making crazy decisions.
Yeah, the Bears went down with the Titans lost that one. That's the definition of a team losing.
Yeah, Will Levis just throwing the ball all over the place and letting Caleb Williams win the game throwing for less than 100 yards, right? So, yeah, I thought week 1 was the Lions kind of showing that they are far and away, given Jordan Love's injury, far and away the class of the NFC North. Now, I thought the 49ers looked real good. 49ers look real good. Real good out the gate without Christian McCaffrey. So I was like, okay. I think those two teams to me look like the class, and Philadelphia Eagles look like they're gonna be back. Like, okay, Saquon, okay. I'm seeing that. I'm feeling that. I know we got to get out of here. I'm curious because he got to. I know his limo service is ready to pick him up. What did you guys think of Lamar versus Christian Mahomes? I mean, versus versus Patrick
Patty.
Mahomes. What did you think of that?
I loved it. I thought it was. They need to do more of that to start the season. Make sure. Let me get a standalone. One of the best against one of the best. Generation talent versus generational talent. Patrick Mahomes is who he is, and Lamar showed a competitive fire that we knew he had, and we see it a lot. But it's like it always shows up, and obviously he's not going to be perfect. He's going to make mistakes, and people are going to put him under a microscope. But when the chips were all pushed into the table, he made the play to win the game, and by a toe, he was out of bounds.
Or
not win the game, tie the game to take it into overtime.
You think that Derrick Henry is going to make a big difference for them?
They got to figure out how to run them. I don't think they figured out quite yet how to run them, but I think he will make a difference just because I was about to say Denard. Lamar has put on film that he is back to skinny Lamar, right, where he can hit the home run, and you can't allow the quarterback to hit the home run, so it's going to open up a lot for what Derrick Henry can do. So I think that they just got to figure out how they want to run him, what runs he's best at, and I think they'll be fine.
Let me ask you a question about that. So from an analytical standpoint, right, if Derrick Henry averages, say, 4 yards a carry, or if he averages about the same amount of yards per carry as the running back by committee that they've had the past couple years, right, is he really making a difference? I know you have to game plan for him for Derrick Henry more so than Gus Edwards, right? But if the Ravens running game has been effective with the guys they've had, they just couldn't stay healthy. Did you really need to go and get Derrick Henry?
Well, I think that you said it in your question. They got to scheme differently, right?
Yeah.
So you got a all-time great running back, in my opinion, and then he rushed 2,000 yards. It's not just my opinion; everybody should think that. And an all-time great rushing quarterback. When you got all-time great rushing quarterback and just a running back, you don't got to change everything. But when you got two all-time greats back there, you got to just do stuff differently. So him averaging 4, that'd be fine. But in the passing game, Lamar be able to do a lot more down the field to attack defenses, I think.
That makes sense.
Yeah. No, it's the Lions. It's the Lions and the 49ers in the NFC. I can't wait to get a piece of the Cowboys. I can't wait to get a piece of the Cowboys. Want that game. Want that. I saw Zeke up in here.
Hey, we got a real team will show you how to beat them this weekend. Don't worry about it.
Who, the Saints?
Yeah.
Man, y'all beat Colorado State, and now y'all somebody.
Wait, who did the Saints actually play? Who they actually beat?
We beat
Colorado State. I just told you.
Who was it?
The Panthers. The Colorado State Panthers.
That wasn't even Colorado State, I don't think.
Hey, Sam.
The first play they threw a pick, right? First pass.
Yeah. Hey, Sam, you keep talking. Hey, man, I'm gonna do you like Skip. I saw you get mad at. Well, you get mad. Who was that y'all was talking about on the show Monday? And Sam went off on the tangent. It was like going off on the guy. And I wanted to do Sam like Skip did Shed. I want to tell him, put your shoulder straps back on.
Put your straps back on.
I can't even
don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I forgot y'all was going off about something on Monday.
It was probably Sam going off. Sam crazy.
No, Sam. He was having another Flint moment.
We should put together like a reel of just all Sam's Flint moments when it's like, oh, he is from Flint. We should just put them together and just like watch it one day and have that be at least 30 minutes, 10, 15 minutes of show. Just watch his Flint moments and let the chat react and we react to it. That'd be great.
And he definitely took his straps off talking about Yoder last week.
See, man, we try to keep it. We try to keep it, professional. Try to keep it professional. they try to take you there every now and then. They try to push you.
It don't take much to take you there, Sam.
So. Listen, folks, it is homecoming week. Hey, Ben, can you bring up the season tea before we move on out? You see my hat from my friends at Underground Printing, the presenting sponsor of Steady Droppin Dimes. undergroundshirts.com. Listen, when you're looking for your Michigan branded apparel, undergroundshirts.com is where you go. Underground Printing, an Ann Arbor original since 2001. Why do I say that? Because my guys, Ryan and Rishi, Michigan students at the time, they started Underground Printing in West Quad. It was a dream. It was a vision at the time. They said we could do something special right here in our dorm room. That's how Underground Printing was born. 20 years later, 20 plus years later, their headquarters still here in Washtenaw County. But it's a company that has locations throughout the Midwest and along the East Coast. But the headquarters still here. Still here. It could be anywhere. Anywhere. But they're here. So when I say support who supports you, when I say, support the maize and blue, Underground Printing is the maize and blue. When I say get your season tee from the originator, from the company that actually makes the shirt.
Not no bootleg on the side of the road, not on the corner of State and Liberty. No. This is the original.
No. See, they're the source. Any other place that might get it.
They like Blue Magic. They stand behind it. They guarantee it. You don't even got to know them as much as you know the chairman of General Mills. You just got to know the product is the product and it's going to be right.
That's exactly right. Exactly. They stand behind it.
They guarantee it. Yeah.
When you get it from Underground Printing, you're getting it from the source. You're getting it from the people who know what it's about. They wear it themselves. It means something to them. That's really what it's all about. It means something to them. It means as much to them as it means to you. See, that's what takes it over the top to me. When I sport my maize and blue, or when I go to buy my Michigan gear, my Michigan apparel, the apparel, the things that show my love for Michigan, I actually want to buy it from the place or the people that love Michigan too. And that's Underground Printing. So again, support who supports you. That's Underground Printing. Undergroundshirts.com. Make sure when you're in town and you need to get your season tee here for homecoming, they have brick and mortar locations. Of course, easy to get through the website. You heard me say it already, undergroundshirts.com, but locations here on South Main, downtown, and South U. So you can go online or you can go to brick and mortar and be prepared for the stripe out next week versus USC. So, check your tickets, see where you are. Take care of whether you need the maize shirt or the blue shirt. So you're ready for the stripe out too. All right. They got you covered. Any of your Michigan team, your Michigan branded apparel, you can get it from Underground Printing. Support who supports you and hang around with the underground just like us at Steady Droppin Dimes. We'll see you next week on the next edition of Steady Droppin Dimes.